Now we'll go back to Osun State as we cover the rerun elections that would be happening on Thursday, and we also have our correspondent back on the line, Femi Akonde. With him is the HOD, Voter Education and Publicity, INEC Osun State, Venerable Stephen Ojewande. Femi.
Yes, that's correct, Ugochi. Well, the Deputy Director of Voter Education and Publicity of INEC is here with me to clarify some knotty issues, especially as Osun State looks forward to the rerun governorship election on Thursday. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, my brother.
Okay, first, domestic observers and even some international observers are talking about the number of invalid votes. More than 47,000, and then they are worried that if INEC says we have carried out voter education and even political parties are saying the same thing, then how come we have that substantial number of invalid votes?
Thank you very much, my brother. The actual figure is 46,000 thereabout, and it's 6% of the total valid votes called for that election. Well, compared with the challenges we have, presently we have 48 political parties. Despite that, we did a very intensive voter education. We went through town hall meetings. We went to door-to-door campaign. We had stakeholders meetings severally at several levels. We ensured that we had sample of the ballot papers. We also educated the parties as well as even the average voter on how to fold the papers, on how to thumbprint, and how to get the ballot into the ballot boxes. And not only that, we even had interface with people with disability. In fact, there was an innovation. We have what we call Braille voter guide that was used for those that have visual impairment. All this we did to ensure that we reduce the incidence of rejected ballot. Like it will happen, though you may say the figure is high, but looking at the percentage, 6% of the total valid votes called, it's still minimal to a certain extent. But that 46 is critical. But it would have been more than that if we hadn't done a very intensive voter education. During that exercise itself, we went around and we discovered that some of the electorate refused to follow the folding pattern that was given to them by the presiding officers. The presiding officer will have folded for them pre their entry into the cubicle, and to ensure that there was no smearing of the ink in the ballot paper. But by the time they gave it to them, we don't know why they were doing it, but we saw it, they were refolding the other way around. And they were, in that instance, some were unnecessarily smearing their finger in the other boxes. And you can see the ink again. Though the ink is, the one we used was that dried immediately. But because the folding was immediate, instead of following the pattern the presiding officer gave to them, in some instances, were refolding. We don't know what the political parties might have told them. But we want a synergy between the political parties and the electorate and with the commission so that they will give them proper voter education that we are doing.
Okay,
We actually did that.
Has there been maybe further engagement now? We know that a date for the run has been fixed.
We call it, you don't call it rerun, but because it's not, it's just for some few supplementary, we call it supplementary election to conclude the process itself.
So has there been any further engagement with the electorate?
Of course, that is what we are doing presently. And we've had series of interactions with the media, with groups. And even today, we had some international observers that came, and we also had discussion with them. And very soon, after now, we'll go also on here. We've given them voter information. This level, what we need is voter information about when, where, and how. And that's what we are doing presently.
Okay, lastly, of course, some issues caused the election at certain polling units to be cancelled. But one issue is abscondments with the voting material, of course, by the electoral officers. And people are wondering, how would that happen? And how is INEC looking into this?
Well, not electoral officer, but one of the ad hoc staff that we recruited. It was a kind of, well, we've interfaced with those ad hoc staff, and we found out that the ad hoc staff was sick during the process itself. The presiding officer became ill. The supervisor also observed such. And while she was sick and incapacitated, She handed over to the next in rank, but that one didn't do the needful. She didn't follow the proper instruction of taking the materials, but he just left, and the person could not be found. The phones were not on, so because he couldn't follow through, the presiding officer was incapacitated during the process. It was confirmed that she felt sick. In fact, it was learned that she collapsed. She was human. I mean, she's human, and she was relieved of the duty by giving it to the other person, and that was what happened.
Well, I'm afraid that's all time we permit us to take for now. Well, there you have it. The Deputy Director of Voter Education and Publicity of INEC shedding light on some knotty issues. That's all we've got for you from here in Osogbo as we prepare for the supplementary votes. Supplementary election that will take place on Thursday, the 27th of September. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Femi Akonde. We appreciate your time, and do keep an eye on what's happening. We'll have you back for more. For our viewers on TVC Entertainment,